everyone. How are you doing? Let's just do what I always have to do, which is wait till the notifications get sent out, and then we can dive right in for today's session. So I'm just going to wait for a few moments. So hopefully everyone's had a fabulous Sunday so far. It's been a pretty warm day here in Sydney. And we're doing a very interesting topic today, which is about productivity and about productivity hacks. So basically, I'm going to share with you 3 of my personal productivity hacks that I use to stay on track where my long-term goals are concerned. All right, so I know a few people are joining in. You know the drill. So do say hi to me when you sign in so that I know where you're logging in from. Ideally, just tell me, say hi and which city you're tuning in from. It's always fun to find that out. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Nim Golkar. I am a motivational speaker and author. And I've also recently launched my brand new book publishing company, which makes me a publisher as well. So that's pretty exciting. And let me quick say my highs. Esther says, hi Nim, hope you're doing well. Hi Esther, lovely to see you. It's great that you join in the Sunday chats. I've been seeing your comments, so thank you for that. Hi Jyoti, how are you? Good to see you again. And Sheetal says, hi Nim, hope you're doing well. Thank you Sheetal, hope you're doing well too. Philomena, how are you? Hi Vaishnavi. Jyoti, good morning from India. Good morning. So in India, it's probably, what is it here, 4 o'clock. So 10:30 a.m. in India at the moment, I think. That's what it would be. It's 5.5 hours behind. Alrighty, so we've got an exciting topic. Like I said, it's about productivity. We're approaching the end of 2020, and I know a lot of people have set some goals for 2021, and I find that a lot of people set lofty goals, but then they have trouble achieving those goals. And then the whole year goes by and you're left feeling really, really disappointed because you didn't do what you had set out to do. So I'm someone who often sets pretty lofty goals for myself as well. And I use some tricks whereby I manage to, as much as possible, stay on track with my long-term goals and get those done. So I thought, I'll use this Sunday afternoon session to share with you some of the tricks and the productivity hacks that I personally use. So as you all know, I recently launched my 4th book, and writing a book is a lot of work. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires a lot of focus, and it requires saying no to quite a few things. Like I always say, when you say no to something, you're saying yes to something else. So it's very important to know why you're saying no to something, because once you know what your goals are, what adds meaning to your life, it becomes a whole lot easier for you to set up boundaries and say no to things that are going to hold you back. All right, so I've got 3 productivity hacks that I want to share with you. The first one is know your productive peaks. Your productive peaks. So the productive peaks are those time frames during the day when you are at your productive best. When you're feeling energetic, when you're feeling on top of the world, when you're feeling motivated, when you're feeling like you can take on the entire world. Okay? Now, typically, most people, their maximum productivity is for maybe 2 or 3 hours during a 24-hour period. That's when they are at their productive best. So you need to know exactly what those hours are. For example, you would probably be knowing roughly that you're a morning person or an evening person. But what I want you to do is drill deeper and become even more specific. What are the exact hours when you are feeling most productive? So for example, me, I'm a morning person. I've always known that. But I've realized that all my books, all 4 of them, the best blogs that I've written, and I've written several over the last 10-12 years that I've been writing, most of them have been written between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. So when I'm writing my books or I'm writing, my blog posts and stuff like that, most of that work, the creative output, is created between 5 and 7 a.m. because those are my productive peaks. Okay, so the best work needs to be done when you are feeling most productive, because anything after that is downhill. So you can do less important tasks during the other hours of the day, but use those 2 or 3 hours when you're most productive to do your most important work. Now you might be saying, oh Nim, I start working at 9, I work from 9 to 5, and my productive peaks are before or after work hours. If that's the case, you need to figure out your second best productive period. Okay, your second best productive period. Let's say you after your morning cup of coffee at 10:30, that's when you start feeling a bit more energetic, and you're quite fine till midday, but then after lunch it's all downhill and you start feeling sleepy. Then what I'm going to suggest is, all the tasks that you are given at work by your boss, by your manager, by your team leader, by your supervisor, that requires maximum focus from you, work on those projects during that period of 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon, because that's your second best productive period, because you've already decided that your most productive period is either before working hours or after working hours. So then you've got to figure out what's the next best frame. What a lot of people do is they use their productive peaks, because they don't even know what those productive peaks are. They use that time to be on social media. They use that time to be chit-chatting with people. They use that time just to be sending emails, doing random stuff that does not require a lot of focus. But once that productive period disappears, you won't get it back till the next day. Okay, so it's very, very important for you to know the exact hours when you are at your productive best. So narrow it down to the actual time. Learn to tell yourself, I am most productive between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. or I am most productive after my afternoon tea. So maybe I'm most productive between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Once you know the specific hours when you do your best work, reserve those hours to do your most important work. And the rest of the time, when you're feeling less energetic, less motivated, that's when you can do other tasks, other chores that do not require your creative best output. Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? Does anyone have a question for me? While I wait, I'm just going to quickly say my highs. Philomena is logging in from Malaysia. That's lovely. That's great, Philomena. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Prahlad. How are you? Good morning, Nim. It's a pleasure to hear you from Mumbai. How nice. I'm originally from Mumbai as well, Prahlad. I've been in Australia for the last 25 years. But like I always say, you can take a girl out of Mumbai. You can't take Mumbai out of a girl. Isn't that true? And Manjusha. Hi, Manjusha. Good morning from Pune. How lovely. Pune has a very special place in my heart as well. And my second book, Unlock the Real You, was actually launched at Crossword in Aund. I'm not sure if that's still there, but that is one of my favorite memories. So yes, I have a special place in my heart for Pune as well. Lovely to see you all. All right, so I've just shared my first productivity hack, which is know your productive peaks. If you have any questions about that, please ask me. Typically, I only answer questions that are asked during the live session. So if you post something or ask a question after this session has ended, then unfortunately I won't be able to respond. But if there's anything you'd like to know now, then that's great. Jyoti says, very true. I'm from Mumbai as well. That's great. And Deepa. Hi Deepa, how are you? All right. So the second productivity hack that I am going to share with you is what I call achieving stuff with the help of 10-minute timers. Honestly, I can truly say that most of my goals have been achieved with the help of a timer on my phone, and I usually set it for 10 minutes. So let's say you have, let's say all your life you wanted to go back to your passion for art or painting, but you think that, someday I'd like to pursue this passion, but right now 24 hours in a day are not enough for me. It is a long-term goal, it is my passion, but someday, maybe when I retire, then I'll pursue my passion. Please don't postpone things for retirement, because you don't know if you're going to be able to do the things you want to do when you are older. Okay, so stop postponing. Life is what I'm trying to tell people, and hopefully the message is going through. So let's say all your life you wanted to pursue your passion. You always wanted to try painting, art, whatever it is, but you're too busy. So what I would suggest is we all have 24 hours in a day. Nobody has more, nobody has less. We all have 24 hours, and yet some people manage to get so much done, and some people don't get anything done. Right? So stop postponing life is the first thing I'm going to say. And the second thing I'm going to say is pursue your passion with the help of 10-minute timers. Take your phone, open the timer and set it for 10 minutes. And then tell yourself in the 10 minutes till the buzzer goes off, I am going to sketch. I'm going to paint. I'm going to do as much as I can. 10 minutes is a lot of time if you really think about it. It's a lot of time to get started on a long-term dream. It's a lot of time to pursue your passion. Don't worry about being perfect at it. Initially, when you write or paint or sketch or knit or whatever it is, or do pottery, you're going to be pretty awful at it. But you cannot become better at something unless you're willing to first be very, very bad at it. Right? There are so many aspiring writers who believe that they have so many books in them and yet they don't write, because the minute they write one sentence, they try editing it, and then they try to make it perfect, and it's never going to be perfect. And that's why they freeze and they don't get any output. Also, they say, oh, to write or to paint, you need 1 hour, and you don't have an hour to spare in your busy lifestyle because you're parenting, you're working, etc., etc. Don't worry about setting yourself such lofty goals. 10 minutes is all you need, at least 3 times a week to start with. Okay, eventually you'll be doing those 10 minutes every day, but to start with, 10-minute timers 3 times a week to pursue your passion or to pursue your long-term goals. You'll be amazed when you add up those 10 minutes how much you will have achieved by mid-2021. In 6 months' time, you will be well on your way to achieving any long-term goal or passion or dream that you've been harboring secretly in your heart for the last so many years. As you can tell, I'm truly passionate about this topic because I feel a lot of people are keeping their dreams and goals on the back burner. They're pushing it away till retirement. And, so many people, their time on earth finishes before they can even get started with their long-term goals. So I don't want us to do that same mistake. All right? So don't postpone your dreams. Set a 10-minute timer 3 times a week to start with and just get started with whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, but you've been postponing. Okay, let me just quickly check. I know there are a couple of questions. Prahlad says, how to increase my team productivity? So Prahlad, that's a very great question, and that's a whole different workshop that I typically hold. But to give you a brief answer, I always believe in internal motivation versus external motivation. So when your staff, when your team realizes the importance of the job they're doing. So a lot of employees don't understand how their work fits in with the bigger picture, how they are contributing to the bottom line of the company, how they are contributing to the company's vision. So I would start with, that's what we do with our team as well, is we make sure they understand why the work they do is important, how they are serving a bigger cause. Because when employees just come to work thinking, they're just going to do what they've always done and they can't see the difference they're making, they're not going to be very productive. So Prahlad, hopefully that answers your question, even though I know it's a very, very brief solution that I'm giving, but it is exactly what I have used with my team as well. Get them to understand the company's vision or your vision, if you're their manager, supervisor, whatever it is, and help them understand how the work they do serves that greater purpose, that greater vision. That will lead to intrinsic motivation versus external motivation. And once employees, team members are internally motivated, then they don't have to do their best work only if they, receive a pay rise. They'll do their best work because they understand that their work has a purpose, that their work is meaningful. All right? So hopefully that gives you some insight into the question you had asked. C.A. Tejaswini, hi, how are you? Philomena says, good tips, thank you so much. Manjusha says, yes, Crossword is a wonderful place to all book lovers. And just to introduce myself, I'm Trupti's sister. Oh, wow, what a small world. Lovely, lovely. That's right, the name did ring a bell, Manjusha. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Prahlad. All right, so those are my 2 productivity hacks, and I'm going to share a third one with you. The first one is know your productivity peaks. The second one is 10-minute timers. You can achieve miracles with the help of 10-minute timers. And the last one is something I learned from the great Stephen Covey, who wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you've not read that book, you haven't lived. You must read that book. So it's Stephen Covey, and he wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he's one wise man, and I have learned a whole heap of stuff from his books. What I learned is the circle of concern versus the circle of control. So I'll simplify it for you, okay? A lot of people waste a lot of time because they keep overanalyzing things over which they have no control. A lot of people are not productive because they spend a huge chunk of their day worrying about things they can do nothing about. So you must firstly know your circle of concern. Circle of concern are all the 50,000 things in the world that you are concerned about, that you're worried about. Write it down on a sheet of paper. Make a list, okay? Once you know all the things you're worried about, you then need to figure out what is your circle of control. Now, that's going to be a smaller circle because there are some things you can do something about and there are some things you can do nothing about. Unfortunately, most of the population spends a lot of their time, particularly their productive peaks, worrying about things they can do nothing about. You don't want to worry about stuff over which you have no control. Right? I know it's easy to say than to do, but anything that's worth achieving is never going to be easy, right? So you must give it a shot. So typically what I do is whenever I'm worried about something or I'm sort of overanalyzing something, I always ask myself, can I do something about it? Is it also in my circle of control? If something that's in my circle of concern is not in my circle of control, then I do my best to banish it from my thought process so that I can then transfer that energy, that motivation, that focus to things that I can change or control or influence. Okay, so that is one big secret to being productive, to stop worrying about things you can do nothing about. All right, so that's it from me, guys. I do have some friends waiting who've come for lunch, so I'm going to rush back to them because I've told them to wait till I finish this session and we'll have tea. So I'm going to run off now, but hopefully you've all enjoyed this session and I'll see you soon next week with yet another topic. Before I go, I just wanted to remind you all that I just launched my 4th book only last Sunday, and it's called Success Cafe: Takeaways for Everyday Success. Okay, so imagine you can go to a cafe and instead of ordering a muffin or a coffee, what you get from the menu is things like how to step outside your comfort zone, why some people get promoted while others don't, 3 types of friends to avoid, why you should never tell too many people your long-term plans, and there's lots more on the menu. So I hope you buy the book and I hope you enjoy reading it, and if you do read it and enjoy it, please drop me a line. So that's it from me for today. I shall see you very soon. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.